Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Have a Little Talk. This is the Creatives Corner. And as you can see, we have an amazing guest with us today. You are sitting amongst greatness wherever you're watching from. This is greatness right here, okay? This is the one, the only Lady Purple herself, Lynda Joice. Give it up for her. Oh, she is very special to me. She's one of the maternal figures in my life. Very consistent, very loving, very supportive. Um, yeah, just she's been great. Like since the day we met, it's been very very loving,
Since the
very
day we
welcoming.
met in the sandbox.
Yes. So, as you all know, this is the Creators Corner where we talk about being a saved creative. So, of course, um, that's the avenue we're going down today. So, Mom Linda, I call her Mom Linda. She is an author, a playwright, um, choir director. Uh, did I say author already? I
Yes, you
did.
did. You
I did.
did. You did.
um, just so
I just
many.
wear many hats. I just wear
Yes,
several different hats.
yes, she wears many, many different hats. Um, so we'll just go ahead and get into it. So, creatively, what did you do first? Like, where did it begin?
Well, thank you for having me, Malika. Malika is one of my daughters. She married my son, so that automatically made her a part of the family since we did like her. If she didn't like her, that might would have been a problem, but no problems here. I love her dearly. It started far as I can remember. It started when I was 11 years old, but my sisters said I sat in the floor directing, the music as a little girl, sitting
Yeah.
in the floor, and the music was playing. I'm sure they were playing the music, gospel, whatever it was, and I was sitting in the floor. And I don't believe I was even 10 years old. I probably was a toddler. But as far as I can remember, excuse me, I started writing plays. Didn't know that there were different formats of writing at that time. So I was writing in play form, but I was telling a story. And the first story I remember was The Talking Shoes. And I got an A for that. I was a advocate reader, still read a lot. Did not know at that time that a lot of authors are readers. They enjoy reading, and I am one of those persons. My mother sent me to my room on punishment. I was not allowed to come out, and that's when I started writing
Wow.
stories. I probably was mad at her, so I probably was exiting her out of the my life because I remember always wanting another mother. And then today, as I was telling you, it's the anniversary of my mother's homegoing service today, March 11. We said goodbye to mom. So how ironic that I get a chance to talk about my mother today. I miss her. Mommy was 100. You wouldn't have believed it, but she did not want me to write. And
Wow.
she was against me writing because I believe the old school, they wanted you to be educated.
Right.
And I don't think they saw writing as education,
Yeah.
and plus what I was writing was taboo, especially in a Christian home. I was writing about sex.
Oh.
I mean, it's a natural thing because how did we get here? People had
Exactly.
sex.
Exactly.
But it was how. And I wasn't writing dirty. I think I was just intrigued. And
Hmm.
plus, I always was mesmerized on a man loving his woman. I
Okay.
didn't realize until later the difference between loving the woman and loving the wife.
That's good.
It,
That's
it's,
good.
it's really a difference.
Yeah.
And once I got older, Lord started directing me to writing Christian romance because I am very I love to see people in love. It's such, I mean, it's really, especially nowadays when people are struggling with relationships,
Yeah,
struggling to be um, seen, to be heard, just to see someone protecting you. Because to me, that's what it is. It's
for
not that
sure.
only, but a man that really loves his wife, he's protecting her just as Christ. Here we go. It's
Yeah.
coming in. Here we go. How Christ loved the church,
Yep.
how he loved us. So to actually see that on the earth, it's exciting to me. So I just like, mimicking that, writing it so others can actually enjoy it. Because sometimes when you're in a certain place, when you're alone, you may not want to, but just to know that Christ loved us just as a husband loves his wife can be very encouraging, can be very touching, can
For
even
sure.
speak to a soul, a heart, to the emotion. And I just feel as though God gave that to me, along with, you couldn't realize, you couldn't think of what the one thing I do. I used to couldn't think of the one thing. And that's how I ended up having a production company,
Mm.
because I had so many talents and I just couldn't bring them in, because I
Right.
wanted to
Right.
do this, I wanted to do that, I wanted to do this. And some years later, the Lord said, after being, prophesied to from several different ones, and mainly that it always seems like people that didn't know me.
Mm.
And that would tell you that it was really coming from God. And there was different things that they would say to me. And still at my age, I am still revolving into that person.
Yeah. That's awesome. That is awesome. And I forgot to mention that you have your own production company. So, like she said, she wears many, many hats. Many hats. So, it started with writing, you said, with writing plays. Um, I remember I was actually in one of your plays.
You,
Yes,
yes, you were.
I
You were
was.
magnificent. Oh my goodness. Yes,
Yes.
you were.
Yep,
Yes, you
behind the
were.
keys.
I will have you back.
Oh, listen, I'm down.
I will
I'm
have
down
you back
anytime.
too. Yes, ma'am.
Anytime. But yes, that was fun.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, that was a lot of fun. So you started out writing plays, and after that, um, when did you start writing books?
Um, when I started writing books, I'm sure I was in school. My children weren't born yet. So I would say possibly around before, maybe in high school, if maybe
Okay,
middle school or high school, I started
yeah,
writing them into my stories, because I dream a lot.
got you.
And I would turn my dreams into stories.
Hmm.
And then the stories would come along. As I said, I started writing in play form, but I was actually telling the story, but
Right,
just
right.
writing it in play form. And then, as becoming educated and more interested in writing, I learned the different ways and formats. So I would say possibly around junior. They called it junior. It wasn't no middle school, but
Oh,
around,
it was junior high
yeah,
school.
when I was in junior high school to high school, I would say. And I would like to add, I was suicidal. When I
Oh,
was in middle school, I was suicidal. I didn't
mm,
want to die. I didn't want to live. So journaling and writing became very therapeutic for me.
mhm,
It gave me a chance to express my thoughts onto paper, because I grew up not, I was not an only child. But because of when I was born with older siblings,
mhm.
I was alone a lot.
Got you.
So I was hurting, dealing with things I did not understand, and didn't really have that, person to talk to. Even though my parents was around, they were older. You know,
Right.
my mother was 39, I think, when I was born. So all of my siblings were teenagers and older, young people. My brother was in the army. He was 19.
Oh wow.
And my sister next to me was almost 13.
Hmm.
And here comes this baby interrupting everybody's life. Yep. So that's basically, I didn't publish though until 2020 because I kept trying to get my book out there. And because of my financial hardships and because of the lack of knowledge, I knew nothing about self publishing. So I was trying to get help, and it cost a lot of money,
It does.
and I didn't have it. So it took me until 2020 during the pandemic when I published my first book, but I was doing plays before I actually started publishing.
Oh yeah, you've been doing plays for a while.
Been doing plays for a while. I
Long
started
time.
actually doing my own production company, which I was prophesied to about while I was working with someone else. I don't know if you know Elder Charles Milliner, but I was his assistant
Oh, okay.
doing his plays. And he and I just had a conversation one day. And he said, I want you to be my assistant director. And I went to my son, Mac, who you definitely know. I
Of
said,
course.
Mac, do you think I can do that? He said, Mom, are you serious?
I can see him saying that too.
He don't answer questions. He just answers a question with a question. Mom, are you serious? I said, you think I really can do that? And that kind of started me from working as a director because I was in the church all my life.
Right.
So I was acting, in the Easter plays. Mainly it was Easter plays,
Yeah.
those are the things that I was doing. And then when I got in middle school, I was doing more active acting and things like that. But I was directing the choir as a teenager, directing adults as a
Wow.
teenager. I directed 13 choirs all at once because that's how many choirs they had.
Wow. That's
But that's
awesome.
what I was doing. I was musically inclined, taking piano lessons. I need to go back to my piano lessons one day because I love music. And I just feel like I'm incomplete. I can play, but I don't play as well as I want to.
Mm,
And my desire is to go back to the piano.
that's awesome. I know you'll get back to it for sure.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Yes, indeed. But yes, your plays are awesome. If y'all haven't seen any of her plays, y'all are missing out. Seriously, like they're really good, really, really good. And I've seen them and I've been in one. Like actually, the one I was in, I came to see it first, and then when I found out that like that's the play I would be acting in, I was excited, like super excited. It was
Tell
really,
us
really
about
great.
your character, cause
Oh yes, yes.
yeah, please.
I played Tiffany. Is that right? That was her name, right?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, I played Tiffany. I was the best friend of the main one of the main characters.
right.
And I played I played a version of myself. Yeah,
I believe it.
it was like more
That's
so
spicy
the
too.
for sure. Like the best friend was like she was the one who she was that best friend that didn't pull any punches. Um she just gave it to her straight and that was her best friend. So the situation that her best friend was in, she was basically in a toxic relationship.
Hmm.
And of course you're gonna support your friend, but at the same time it's like, I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of like the side of me. That's basically who I am with my close friends.
Okay.
Um, I don't really pull any punches with them. I'm very honest with them, and you know, I can be a bit unhinged at times. So,
Yeah, because Tiffany was ready to set it off. Let me
oh
tell
my
you.
goodness, yes, yes, and
Taking advantage of her naive girlfriend because she was naive.
For sure.
Yeah, she was definitely naive.
For sure. Like the signs were all there.
Right.
And she just looked past all the red flags.
I would love to do that play again. I really
Me
would.
too. Like
It
it
was a
was
lot of
fun.
fun.
Yes.
And it had
And
a
the
lot of lessons.
yes, that's what I was about to say. Like the lessons and the messages, there are several in that
Mhm.
play.
Mhm.
For those who don't know,
Mhm.
it's called Behind the Keys. And it's amazing. Yes. We should definitely do that one again.
I would love to do it again. I don't know if
Yes.
your brother would do it again or not because he was phenomenal being one of the. And the young lady, she had a baby, so I don't know
She
what she's
did.
doing. Yes, she
She got a
has a
whole
little
family
boy.
now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she got married and has a little boy.
Yes.
Yeah, he might
Oh,
be around the same age as my grandson. I'm not sure.
I think they're
Our
definitely pretty
families have
close.
grown. Yeah, our
Yeah,
families have grown.
for sure.
But being a creative has a lot of work to it.
Oh yes.
There's a lot of work to it,
Yeah.
and you really need like-minded people, especially us as Christians.
Yes.
Everybody does not understand that we're on assignment.
Yeah, let's talk
It's
about it.
not about money. Of course, we want to make it, but that's not what the focal point is. The
Yes.
focal point is the message that you have been giving to get it out there. But not only that, I've had several, mostly work with young people, and sometimes they're seasoned as well.
Mhm.
I'm willing to work with anybody who's willing to first understand the mission,
That's good. That is
because you
good.
can't just have any old body. I've had gay people. I've had Puerto Rican. I've had
Mhm.
and it was they were Puerto Rican. I've had Caucasian. So it ain't just us
Right. Right.
that have been a part of my production company. Been different ones, and they all didn't have to be saved. They may not
Right.
all even been Christians, but they had to respect the production company of its purpose. And
Right.
we are Christians. That is our foundation. We do pray. So
Hmm.
if you have a problem with it, then I'm sorry, maybe this is not for you.
Right.
But we're definitely going to start with prayer, because we
Every
shouldn't do
time.
anything without God being on that boat.
That's it.
And I really feel as though that it's about a lot of work. I haven't done a play, and actually, I was preparing to do auditions just when the city got shut down
Oh.
in
Okay.
2020. I was about to do auditions because I was planning to do Behind the Keys again
Mhm.
that year. But that pandemic just changed everything. It kind of then my mom was sick, and it was just one thing after another. So I have not been able to get it together. To be honest and truthful, God is still speaking. Sometimes I'm not clear on certain things, but I don't like to go before Him, because if you go before Him, you can have a mess.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Very careful.
Mhm. Mhm.
Trying to go before God is like when you said it, I just like saw somebody running into a pitch black room and
Oh
just running
wow,
into everything. Like I just like all you hear is just crashing. That's that's what I saw when you said that just now. Like
that's amazing. Yeah,
yeah, trying to
yeah.
go before God. It's
Uh
yeah,
huh. Uh huh.
no,
Because you don't. It's dark.
very
I love what you just said. It's dark and you're feeling your way through, but you don't know what you're feeling.
yeah,
You don't know what you're touching. It could be intoxic stuff.
yep,
And if you're not covered with the anointing and having God's okay, you don't know what you're going into. You could be
exactly,
possibly going into, just like if somebody's going into a crack house or something, and you're not prepared to go in that, because you can get killed. I mean, people don't just get killed physically.
right,
There is a spirit.
yes. And sometimes a spiritual death is worse.
Come on now. You better say it.
It could be like, I can't imagine being apart from God, or like, like not experiencing his presence or hearing his voice.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
couldn't I couldn't imagine life without that.
I don't want to.
I don't either. I wouldn't be able to function.
Look, I'm sure I wouldn't be here because I'm
That part.
quite sure the enemy knows us.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of times he knows us better than we know ourselves. Because a lot of times he's throwing stuff at us, doubt,
Mhm.
low self esteem,
Yep.
lack of confidence. And those things are here to edify the body of Christ, but it's also here to fuel and help others, become who they are. And
Yeah.
I was going to say, a lot of the young people that I have had in my production company were young people that was going through certain things of the acting that they were actually becoming characters for. And
Very
I
true.
didn't know it. I didn't know it. But God knows.
Yep.
God knows. And they brought that to life. A lot of times you're not to be yourself, but you have to put you into it to
For
bring it
sure.
alive. So it can minister. It can minister to people and they don't even realize that they're being ministered to.
Right.
And I believe that's why God called me because I know how to go outside the box. And
Yes.
everybody's not coming to church,
See?
but people will come to a play.
Oh yeah.
People will come to a play and they will, read about it because, behind the keys was a lot of stuff behind the keys.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
but it was real stuff. And it
Yeah.
was real stuff going on in the church that the church don't want to talk about.
Yep.
But God said, I'll call Linda because she ain't afraid.
That part.
I'll bring it out to her. Because how are you going to help somebody if you're not honest, if you're not integral and be transparent?
Exactly. That's what it takes in ministry. And when you're being a creative. Like, that's where the authenticity of our oil comes from.
Hmm.
Like, being vulnerable, being willing to be transparent like that. Like, some things you have to expose, to, or uncover to other people so that you can relate to them.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz like you said, like the people who were in the play, like they could relate to their character because they were going through some of the same things.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they're able to like tap into it. And with you doing plays, it's like it's no different than someone getting up and preaching a sermon. You're both doing the same thing, but you're just doing it differently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
oh no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying the difference to me is the fact that what I'm putting acting to words.
Yeah,
Whereas the preacher, depending on his style of preaching, he just may be saying words from the pulpit.
right.
But whereas with a play, you can actually see. Prayerfully, I'll be going into film. I need help. I'm
Mm,
looking
okay.
for, people to act. And I'm actually have some ideas of, well, I'm also an advocate against bullying, y'all. We didn't talk about that.
Yes, that's another thing.
And with that per se, a young lady had sought me out, and because I do work with the youth, I kind of started thinking about gun violence,
Okay.
and I want to work with a documentary, a film. I already know a few people who have lost loved ones. Miss Stephanie, who is my best friend,
Mm.
lost her daughter some years ago to gun violence, and I want to use her story along with other stories. So I have bits and pieces
Okay.
of ideas of what I would like to do, but I'm waiting on my God to give me the blueprint of what he wants me to do, and there's other things that I'm working on to get it together, but I just don't I just don't run out of oil. Thank God. He
Yeah.
still wants me busy, even though I'm an old lady now, so I can't run around like y'all. I need a runner. My grandson will be my runner.
Yep.
Pass the torch down. But he still has me with ideas, and sometimes that's why I can't rest.
Mm,
But he wants me to rest now, Malika. I need to get some rest. And I
yeah.
forget sometimes, that's a part of ministry. I started doing reading devotion on rest. If we don't refuel, we're going to run out of gas.
That's right.
And that's when sickness comes in and we're taken advantage of,
Yep.
spiritually, because we're not reading, we're just too tired. So I noticed that this time for last year or so, I've been doing more fellowship with the Lord, letting Him pour into me, because I
Hmm.
really want to hear Him, especially with this stuff that's going on. I don't want to be just doing stuff to be doing stuff and it's not effective.
Right. Right.
And we have to know the will of God for our lives. It's not about us as much as we think it is, and a whole bunch of stuff we want to do. But what does God want us to do?
Right.
That's a hard thing. That's a hard pill to take. I know, because we want to do everything ourselves. We're selfish, basically, and just want to do our whatever it is that we want to do to be seen, or for some reasons, there's many reasons why I want to do what I want to do. I do want to reach people, but I also want to build a legacy
Right.
for my children and for my grandson. I only have one right now. Right now, as I said that, I'm waiting on these other people to get it together. Hint, hint. But nobody should have children until they're ready, because they are a piece of work.
It's a lot.
Oh, let me tell you, I could give you plenty of stories about Teresa Sanders, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It's Ministry is a lot, so it's
For sure.
best not to go before God. It's best to
Yeah.
get the rest that you need. It's best to read your word. It's best to have devotions where you're talking to Him. And I put a post up recently that praying is talking to the Father, just like you're talking to your friend,
Yep.
because He is your friend. He should be.
He should be. Yes.
So talk to your.
Oh, yeah.
It can be a lot, and we need to be equipped for so much, because we're soldiers,
Yes,
and
we
we
are.
soldiers have a different type of weapon.
That's right. That is very true. So, let's see. We talked about the plays, the books, everything. Hmm.
Oh, I'm a model too, y'all.
Yeah. Oh my, how can I forget that? Oh my goodness. Lord. See this I have to start I have to go back to taking notes. Like I'm gonna get those cards like everybody else gets
Uh-huh.
and just like
Like them little cue cards.
yes, yes. I'm gonna get those. Yes, she is a fashionista, she is a model, and actually her grandson is about to start modeling too.
Yes, yes.
So
We'll be so
I
excited
saw
for
that. I
him
was like,
modeling
oh, look at
Saturday. I
him.
mean Sunday. This week is coming up. He's modeling
Oh.
Sunday, and we're just so excited. I mean, he's not even 2 yet, y'all, and he's gonna model. He's gonna run the walkway, and I'm glad that they have someone going with him.
Oh
And that's a
good.
good thing to have them, because my grandson, he'll probably be down the runway running. He doesn't do a lot of walking. He's a runner,
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
so it'll be over. It will be over before he even started, because he wants to get to where he's going. But yes, I started modeling. I wanted to model as a little girl. but I felt like I was too fat,
Mhm.
and I didn't think I could model because I was fat. I was shy, and I really didn't have. I mean, when I was little, I really didn't have someone encouraging me, or even you got to talk to your young people, and a lot of
Yes.
times we don't talk to them. And I really didn't have a lot of people talking to me about what I wanted to do. I was mainly doing what my parents wanted me to do, which is a lot of times how it goes, period. You have to find
Mhm.
out what your children are good at before you start, plugging them into this and that. But I
Yep.
always wanted to model, and my mother had me going to the Y. And I don't even remember what, I guess maybe that was just a membership, but I did a little fashion show then. And I might have been I think I was under 10. And I always wanted to model, but I never did uh, modeling with a company. At church, they asked me, seem to remember different incidents where I did then a little short model, not a whole big show. And I was
Mhm.
always afraid, but I said, I'm gonna push myself to do it anyway. Well, when I became 50, young lady that I know had a production company as far as models. And she had been watching me. I also knew her because her grandson was a student at where I worked, Cheltenham School District. And I've been in education for close to 30 years until I retired. And she said, I love your style. I love the way you dress. And she said, and I've been watching you. She said, and I would like for you to model. I said, are you kidding me? No. I told her no.
Oh my
I
goodness.
told her no. She followed me for 2 years
Wow.
and
She
would
really
not.
wanted you.
She would not let me get away. So I said, you know
Good.
what? It makes no sense. You want a model just because you're afraid. That is no reason for you not to do it.
Right.
So I had what really thing that really encouraged me to do it, to push it. I walked in Mount Airy Church of God in Christ one day, and a young lady walked in the church, and she said, "Oh my God, you look good." My hair was purple. My hair hasn't always been purple, but my hair has always been a color, and I think during
Mhm.
that time it was purple. And she was like saying, you really look good, and she was giving me all these accolades and encouragement for me being older. And she said, "You just encouraged me." She said, "I just turned 50, and I thought my life was over."
Wow.
She said, "But when I saw you looking like life, looking
Mm.
lively and happy and younger and all these other things," because people think I found the fountain of youth or something like that because they keep saying I look younger than, what I am. And that encouraged me to model, because you don't know what older, seasoned woman that you may be encouraging just by them seeing you
That's
stepping
true.
out in faith. And that's what it was. That was me stepping out in faith. So at 50 years old, I'm not 50 anymore, but I started at 50, and I started really enjoying it, loving it. I had to take a break because my legs have been a challenge for me. I'm working on my legs because I said that God is in control of my body, not the
That's
enemy.
right.
And even if some things I may have to do in pain, like prepare for it, I plan to go. They're willing to receive me. The modeling company where I modeled, they're willing to receive me back.
Oh, that's
I'm
awesome.
willing to work on my legs. They don't care about all these different spike shoes because I can't wear them no more. But I can wear the platforms,
Hmm.
the thick heels. And
I love platform
sometimes,
shoes.
yes, sometimes I can do with that. Depending on the designer, sometimes you might. Because one time I wore boots. I don't know if you saw that crazy outfit that they put on me. Teresa was like, "What in the world is Mom got on?" She was all loud, talking to back on the phone. You should see your mother. I look like a punk star or something, but I was in boots. So depending on your designer, what they want, but I still get the chance to. It's encouraging to me. It builds my confidence, and then you don't know who, because the company that I was working for or modeling for was a Christian company, and they looked at it as ministry
Wow,
to
okay.
minister, and they're still operating in that
Hmm.
magnitude of fashion being ministry. So they're actually modeling, and it's not just Christians that they're reaching out to, but because it is a Christian company, they look at it as ministry. And I love it. When we used to have rehearsal, we would have devotion, prayers, and, even somebody, what do you call it, art, exhortation. Sometimes
Oh,
we would
okay.
we even do that, and because sometimes there would be ministers or women and men of cloth, so they would bring in their ministry within, and they uh, connected with children. So children were also modeling as well, and they're growing up becoming, models and basically coaching. And I mean, it's just giving back.
That's awesome. And I love how through all these different avenues, like you and all these other people are able to reach different generations, not just one. Like you personally, you're able to reach like my generation and your generation and even your grandson's generation, like with the things that you do.
Hmm.
Because like you said, like with your plays, like everybody's not going to church, but they'll go see a play, or
Hmm.
they'll go to a fashion show,
Right.
or they'll go to a book signing,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
different events
Hmm.
that you do,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that's why it's also good to be integral and to live a life of integrity. Be the same person everywhere you go,
Right.
because like they may not see you in church.
Right.
They may
Right. Right.
see you, and if you're one way in the church and another way outside of
Hmm.
the church,
Hmm.
that's really confusing.
Yeah, it is confusing, and it also talks about how you can damage your witness. You may get to
Yes.
a point where somebody was saying, "Oh, was real happy about what they saw in you," and then all of a sudden they see you out there doing something entirely opposite. Oh, what mom Lynn doing? I didn't think she used to do that. I used to do stuff, but I ain't do it no more. I ain't gonna tell you what I used to do, but I used to do a lot of stuff. Believe me, I was living my life and enjoying it. But you're right, even to a point. Remember the other event I used to have, the Authors of Excellence you were a part of? I
Yep.
hope to get back to doing that because that was outreach.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was outreach, and basically what that was, audience, that was an event that I would get together and bring authors, usually youth, because that's really my focal point in life is working with young people, and it doesn't have to be teenagers. It's young people, whatever the age may be, up until 30, because I consider young people to be up to 30, 35.
Hmm.
And I would get entrepreneurs and authors, even the kids, because there are children that are publishing books now.
Absolutely.
And I would have them all that wanted to be a part, give them a space, and they would bring in their own table, or either I would, rent table for them. At the point where we was at, we could get a table from the church, and they would have a place where they would bring in their products and their material. Some would be selling jewelry. I had one young lady who was doing paint, face painting, and
Hmm.
then we would do line dance. Yes, I do
Oh,
dance.
that was fun. Yeah.
Had a DJ come in. They had the bouncy house, where the younger children, they could go in there. We had popcorn and pretzels, and even got a caterer who sold food.
Yep.
And my son basically had to start a water fight. So they
Of course.
this great big 6 footer running around with his buddies, all males. throwing water bottles at each other, water, and that's the kind we have fun.
Yes, we do.
We believe we have fun, and there's a lot of times when we bring people in, they get connected to us, they get attached to us, we become a family, and the next thing you know, I got more children, and they're
Yep.
calling me mom or auntie or something like that. But this is what the world is about.
Yeah.
And I grew up learning from my parents ministry, outreach, loving people, and they wasn't always in the best mindset. They wasn't always in the best financial situation. Some of them were in need financially. My parents used to feed the homeless, things of that sort. My mom and my dad was a deacon and deaconess, so they had that. My dad had his own group, musical group. That's why Mac probably is the way he is. He always was with my dad.
Oh,
And my father
that
was a
makes sense.
deacon with other deacons, and they started a singing group.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I grew up on music. I was supposed to have been in bed, but I was listening to the rehearsal and not being in bed. I would listen, and then I would be writing, and my mom would come, and I would jump in the bed and pretend like I was asleep. Sometimes I would have a flashlight under the covers reading. So there was many a times I was doing different things that I'm doing now as a little girl.
Wow, it's awesome how it comes full circle too.
Right? Isn't that amazing?
It is. It's because it's like the things we end up doing, they're never really that unfamiliar. If we really take the time to like think back to like how we acted as children, things we did as children, or when we were younger,
You're talking
it
good. Keep it up.
it it connects, and it's
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, like I've been doing this all my life.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like
Yep.
it's crazy how that happens.
It is because me having a production company, just about every aspect of what a producer does and director should know. I know. I know how to. This kind of stuff probably gonna shock you too. I know how to run a soundboard. I know, and I'm a certified tech. I used to do weddings, sound for weddings. I used to do
Oh,
sound and sound effects, lighting. I know how to do that. When I was a little girl, I started. I had my first camera when I was 5, 6 years old, taking pictures because I was very intrigued with cameras. My sister bought a video camera. She never used it. She always gave it to me so I could use it, but she kept it. It was hers. But I always did that stuff. And I mean, I would run around sometimes being the sound person plus directing the play because somebody might not have been there. Sound effects, I know how to do that. The lighting, as I said. So there's a lot of things that a production needs. I learned how to do, but I didn't learn it all at once. It was,
right.
the weddings that they needed sound for at services that they needed sound for. So I was learning how to do bits and pieces of things at different times. I'm a certified teacher, but that took me to the 2014 before I even got my degree.
Hmm.
I'm thinking about going back to school, but I don't know where to go. So it gets to be a lot being me because I feel like I'm all over the place.
I can relate to that. Yeah. Like we're actually like really similar. Like listening to you talk about your childhood and like how writing was an outlet for you and things of that nature. Like
hmm
it was the same way for me. I actually started writing around the same time. I
Okay.
was I
Okay.
was in 11th grade.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, I actually took a creative writing class, and
hmm
yeah, that's where I found my love for writing,
Okay.
and it just kind of went from there.
Right.
Um and yeah, it's like we have a lot of the same similarities, and like I can definitely relate to feeling like you're all over the place cuz like you when you're I'm a visionary like you are.
hmm
So like we see so much and we want to do so much, and over time we've learned so much. So it's just like we want to do it all, but we're just one person.
Yeah.
So it's just like we want to focus, and it's like I want to focus and hone in on this one thing, but it's like I'm also seeing this, and we're also saved, so I'm hearing, God is speaking and downloading, and it's
Uh huh. Uh huh.
oh, Lord, it's like sometimes I have to ground myself
Okay.
because it gets overwhelming at times, but in
How
a
do you
good
do?
way.
How do you do that?
Now I have to. I've I've found a way to. I'm able now to conquer my anxiety.
Okay. Okay.
Um, because I used to have really bad anxiety.
Okay. I can believe it.
Um, so I just kind of I actually learned like I think it's 5 grounding techniques. Sometimes I have to literally like just take that moment to like ground myself and kind of
Hmm.
connect with the present moment, and that
Is
kind
that
of helps.
hard? That's
Yes.
hard. That's
It's very hard.
hard because I'm in that point where trying to say, don't go to the next day, stay in the moment.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
also difficult if you're a dreamer.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I'm like, well, God, why did you do this? This is not funny. You always got jokes. It's not, and you're laughing at me, and I'm not laughing.
At all. I'm not laughing at all. Yeah, I can relate to that too. Cause
Uh-huh.
oh gosh, I see things in my dreams, and I write. I've always, for years, I've started writing my dreams down.
You should. Do
Yeah.
you journal?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I had Teresa driving me all around the city, every Family Dollar to get these books. I got me see two. I think there's six of them because they look similar.
Uh
They
huh.
have a certain contents of pages that I
Oh,
fell in
okay.
love with. So I think I've used at least three, but I got more of them. And I just had her, let's find, look, take me Family Dollar. And I find them, and I think I have at least five of them
Wow.
that I haven't used yet.
Yeah.
Do you like
I'm the
special pins?
Yes. Michael has to stop me from buying notebooks and pens. He just looks at me like you don't need them.
Oh, Lord, I got a twin.
Yes. Yes. Like I'm your daughter for real. Like,
One of
yes.
y'all sent me pins. Was it you?
No. I didn't send
Somebody,
any
or either
pens,
they
but
liked my pins. And I was so intrigued because people know what to give me. If you can't think of anything else, give me a nice book. Because I got all these books. This is my
yes.
idea book right now. This is what I use to get, and see what it's called. It's called Dreams
Dreams.
Don't Work Unless You Do. And then I be having
Right.
pens. I mean, this is like a pen with a little. I thought
Oh,
that was
that's
so
cute.
cute. So, yeah, see, it's a little fireman, and this is the little police. And somebody sent me this. It has a diamond on it. I mean, so people know what to send me.
For sure.
Everybody don't like me, but they know how to send me a pen. Send me a book or something. I get very excited. I'm so weird.
No, I don't think it's weird. Because I'm the same way. If I
Yeah,
see like a cool looking notebook, I'm like, I have to stop myself, or Mike has to stop me from buying
I can
it.
hear him. I can hear him say that to you. Don't need. Mind your business.
Okay, like you don't know what I need. I'll use it eventually.
Shoot,
So
this ain't asking for a mink coat. That's a
okay, I could be obsessed with that.
Lord telling you that I realize.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna tell him
yeah,
tonight.
yeah. Okay. Tell mom said it too.
Yep,
Yep. But it's fun being a creative, though it is a lot of work. But I
it
mean,
is.
it really is. So, what do you have in plan?
Um, well, I'm I'm adding to this podcast. Um, I've actually come up with a game that I want to start playing with my guests. I
Mm,
just have to I have to fine tune it. Um, I think I'm gonna try it out on a few people, like off camera,
okay.
and kind of see how it goes and get some feedback on it. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna start with that on the show. And once I kind of get a handle on it and a concept for it, I might actually make it a game that people can get.
Nice.
Yeah, like a game that they can take with their friends or family or whatever and play with them. I
Make sure you get it patent.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't want anybody stealing my idea.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
That was like
Um,
somebody telling me to give somebody my idea. I said, nope,
no.
I
So
did
they can
all
run
the
with
work.
it? No.
Nope. And
No.
then make all the money. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no.
And
Nope.
like I said, it's not about money, but what's yours is yours.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
And that could also be part of the reason God wants us to do certain things. It could
Absolutely.
become a source of income for us.
Absolutely. Because it says in the Bible, I believe we're supposed to have multiple streams of income.
Hmm.
And that's biblical.
There you go. So why not be an entrepreneur or, try to, everything doesn't have to be a source of income, but something could.
Hmm. Somehow, if not an income, a benefit and a essential avenue.
For sure.
A lot of times the Bible talks about planting seeds and it coming back. It doesn't necessarily have to come back the same way we place it in, but just the
That's true.
fact that it's coming back to bless, to be a blessing, is sometimes better than money because money we can't. What they say, money can't buy everything, and that's
That's
true.
true.
That's
Very
true.
true.
It's very true. But
Yeah.
there's something that I might need you or Mike to help me with. I'm
Okay.
looking. I started a journal. It's called "I Am in Peace," PEACE,
Hmm.
not in pieces, and it is for young people. And I want it to be. I've been working on it for over a year,
Okay.
and it has a few pages already. But I don't want it to be overwhelming,
Right.
especially for
Okay.
young people. But I want it to be effective, and I basically got the idea of how I want to help the bully. Nobody wants to help the
Mm.
bully.
Wow.
How are you going to stop something if you don't help the root?
Get to the
Get
source.
to the source. So I would like to maybe help them express, help them to understand what's going on inside of them. And even if they don't, just the fact of them acknowledging why they're so angry. Because a lot of them are hurt. A
For
lot of
sure.
them are angry, disappointed, rejected.
Hmm.
We got to stop these young people from wanting to kill themselves.
Yes.
They go to school and they're being ostracized. That's bullying. They're being rejected. They're being pressured into doing certain things. They're being ridiculed because they're different.
Yep.
I don't go along with homosexuality, but I know a lot of gay people. And I've had a lot of friends that were gay. We
Hmm.
don't have a right to pick with them.
That's right. We don't.
Nope, we don't have a right to pick with them. Why are we discussing their gender of what they're
Right.
doing? That's something to me that I feel as though should be a certain place for that. Not
Hmm.
social media and not in the public.
Right.
Because we're talking about our own personal relationships, intimacy. And I think that's going a little bit beyond of what we're just too openly. Just talking about
Yeah.
anything and everything openly, doing anything and everything. It's like a smorgasbord. And then we
Yeah.
wonder why so many people are confused and so upset.
They're seeing too much.
They're seeing too much. There's no boundaries. There's no
Yeah.
integrity. It's
Yeah.
just too
No,
much.
yeah. No accountability either.
Ha- And
That is.
entitlement
Ugh.
along with that.
Yeah, feeling like you deserve certain things. I mean, yes, certain things we do deserve, but
Once you work on
that's things like respect, love, things like that. But Yeah, like feeling like you're entitled, like the world has to roll out the red carpet for you. Like, have confidence, yes, but don't do too much.
Yeah, don't do too much.
Yeah.
And a lot of folks, church and unchurched, because a lot of times I get annoyed with social media, and it's always the church folk. Why is that a title?
Mm,
What is a church folk?
right.
Because there's a lot of people that go to church, and
Mhm.
things are happening in the church, but why is it that it's so magnified, spotlighted? Like, people don't get hurt, period. Why it
Right.
has to be labeled the church folks? I keep going because I don't want to hear it no more. I'm tired of it. And it's not that, because I've had church hurt too. I've
Hmm.
had church hurt since I was a kid, and I've even had it since I was an adult, since I've lost my mother. But people are people,
Yeah. In and out the church.
in and outside the church. And we put these folks on pedestals, and then when they don't do what we want, or they disappoint us because they're not God, then you get hurt. Stop putting them
Yep.
in that position.
Right.
Guard your heart. Stop being in everybody's face.
Yep.
Do what you're supposed to do. And that's to love. That's what we're supposed. That's what Jesus did. Jesus loved the unlovable. He
Hmm.
even and he was dealing with the church folk.
He was.
That's who the Pharisees and them other people were, because
Exactly.
they was wise and they wasn't doing nothing besides ridiculing. They wasn't helping people.
Not at all.
They were getting on my nerves. I was love when Jesus was telling them off
He definitely set him straight several times.
several times, and he did not have a problem with doing it.
Not at all.
But he was in order.
He was.
He was in order, but he wasn't doing it to hurt people.
Exactly.
He was doing
He
it to
did it
do.
in love.
He did it in love. He did it in love. He just wanted the best to know, let people know that yes, we have messed up, but you have another opportunity
Yeah.
to get it right. You still have grace. There's still mercy. Don't take advantage of it. I mean, it's for advantage. Don't. What's the word for it?
Abuse.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't take it
Don't
for
abuse
granted.
it. Yes. Yes.
Don't take it for granted. And let's get back to that entitlement again. Because did you die on the cross? I ain't getting
Okay.
up there. I'm telling you, I ain't getting up there. I'm gonna tell you now. I ain't doing it.
Yeah. I don't think I could. I actually no. I know I couldn't endure
Mm-mm.
even a piece of what Jesus endured.
Exactly. And then for people to spit on you after you sacrificed, and knowing that they were going to be nasty and talk about you, Jesus was amazing.
He was
He was an
like
amazing person, human being, son, friend. We owe him.
seriously. We do.
We owe him because he didn't have to do it. He didn't have to do it. He was entitled to say no.
And he could have
Yeah,
at any point.
at
He
any
could
point, he could have.
have.
Most definitely, I would have. Do what
Honestly.
for who? They don't even like me. They talk
They don't know
about
how to
me.
treat me.
They don't know how to treat me. Don't care nothing about me. I try to be their friend. I try to carry the weight for them. I pray for them, and I do this and do that. And you telling me to do what? Mm-mm. Forgive me, Lord, but you know your child.
Yeah, he does, and that's why he didn't put us on that cross. Shoot,
We
he
said he wouldn't come down. I wouldn't have been on.
I never would have went up. I wouldn't have been up in the first place to come down. Okay, let's make that clear.
Thank you, Jesus, for your sacrifice. That's what we need to be saying often.
Oh, yes.
Something to be saying often. It's nothing but thank you, Lord, and help me. There's so many things I try to remember to say in my prayer.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm at the point now I'm singing. I it seemed like the Lord, the enemy done took my voice, so I ain't praying like I used to. So I said, okay, I'll sing.
Yep. Use it another way.
I sing, I make up stuff. However is going on in the day or however the Lord leads me, I start singing.
Because he hears that too, and
He
he
hears
responds
that
to that.
too. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't really matter how we communicate with God. It's as long as our heart is in the right posture, he hears it.
And he hears it, but it also I believe it makes him smile too.
For sure. Because it's coming from a pure place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's coming from a pure place. Like authentic, like genuine love for him.
You
Just
should
like
teach a class. Do you teach?
uh I'll say yes, I do, but like not much.
I would come to you sit in your class.
Really?
I would. Do you have a lot of insight and you know how to articulate it and deliver it?
Mm,
So get
thank
busy.
you.
Get busy.
Okay. I'll write that down. Um, I know I have what I call soapbox moments where
I remember.
yeah, I have soapbox moments where like I can really go in on a topic. One in particular is like when I start talking about because I dance.
Right,
So
right.
I talk about like ministry through dance,
Mm-hmm.
and it also stems into the other arts as well. But like it, when people get up there just haphazardly, um, haven't prayed, haven't spent time with God, they just get up there and do it. That bothers me.
Okay. And you can tell.
I'm getting irritated right now just thinking about it. Like I just there are I could teach a class on that, and I'd be willing to. Um, it's just
Okay, sure.
it's maybe that could be. I mean, listen, it's still early in 2024, so you never know.
Okay, I could very well be preparing you.
He could. I
Because, I
mean,
mean, at this point now, Malika, there is so much out there.
yeah,
And I really believe that the pandemic opened up a lot of doors and a lot of ideas that we had never thought about.
for sure.
That we can actually, I mean, look at that girl on TikTok. I don't know what her name is, but she done turned in, what is it, Teresa or Ressa? Or
Oh,
she's like making a lot of money now, or she's got a lot of followers, though, if nothing else.
yeah. Oh, yeah, because she shared her story, like, who did
Yeah,
I marry? Something like that.
yeah, something like
I haven't
that.
seen it.
And there's a lot of people that's into it.
Yeah,
So she just might end up having her own TV show. You never know. Just from her
maybe.
idea and for doing it.
What would be nice, like a good thing to come from her story in particular, is she could, in turn, help other people to not, you know, to not,
The signs.
yes, yes, to not ignore the signs and to not fall into that same trap. I think that that'd be a good thing. I don't know what she has planned or in the works or anything, but I think that would be something good that could come from her story and her
Mm-hmm.
situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's what I say. There's a lot of things out there. How much time you got?
Um, we are just a few minutes over an hour. Um, and I mean, even in that hour, we covered a lot, a whole lot. Um, this show is helping me come out of my shell more.
Okay.
And get me out of my comfort zone because I don't talk that much.
I noticed.
No, normally I don't talk that much.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been really helpful talking to people that I know. Eventually I'll be talking to people that I don't know. So this is like this is really helping me. Um so yeah, and you never know. Maybe I will end up teaching that class. And
Yeah.
I don't know who will come to it, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it just starts with the one.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I've enjoyed this time. Um,
Yes, this was great.
giving me the opportunity to tell a little bit about, a little bit about everything. I
Yeah.
got a lot that I could share with, and I believe that's a lot of where the Lord is taking me. To be a speaker. I
Hmm.
would like to have more opportunities to speak. To encourage, to inspire, to just tell people that you can do it. Talk people off the edge. Too many people have
Yeah.
um, given up hope,
Yeah.
and it's not over. As long as
It's
we're still here, there's still a chance.
That's right.
And those that are living have to let them know there's still hope. There
Yes.
is still hope.
People need to hear it. People really need to hear that.
Yeah, they do. They do. And they need to see us operating in it
Yes. Yes.
among the obstacles. Because anything you do for Christ, I don't have to tell you the rest of it.
It will last.
It will last, and there will be
Will.
bumps and
For
all
sure.
type of diversities, and enemy is not happy with us, and he is real,
Very real.
and we don't have to like him because he sure don't care nothing about us.
At all. He gets real disrespectful at times.
Mm. Yup.
But I mean, it's part of the journey.
It is. It is, unfortunately, but it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's nobody's favorite part of the journey, but it's part of it. And I mean, it makes the victory even more rewarding.
Ah, victory. Yes, victory is mine.
Yes, it is.
Victory is mine. It's good to know. Good to remember. Good remember to tell ourselves as well. Yep.
Yeah. It's a good
Yeah.
reminder.
But you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I think so. I think so.
Thank you. So before we wrap up, tell
Okay.
the people where they can find you and where they can also find your books.
Working on some of that. I my books are found in my trunk of my car. You hit me up on social media, I'd be glad to send it to you. If you're nearby, I'll even drive them to you. They're called Surviving on Broken Pieces, which is my memoir about my life. And Secrets is another. I've also had some collaborations of books. I'm working on getting a landing page. But I
Okay.
am on social media. You can find me on Facebook, Lynda, Lynda, Joyce, Joice. Lady Purple, and also on Instagram. I am author, entrepreneur, something. I don't remember all of it. I should have wrote it down.
It's
But
okay.
I have two Instagram pages. But I'll tell you one thing: if you contact Malika, she can give it to you and tell
I
you.
sure can.
She can
I sure
definitely
can.
tell you I'm looking for more followers. I ain't really into
Yes.
all that social media, but because of the times that we're living in, it is important. So please follow me on social media,
Yes.
on Facebook, on Instagram. I don't do too many other ones. I have email, ljots@yahoo.com. I'm working on someone getting my landing page together because I will be doing a lot of things with writing. People have even asked me to teach them how to write. As a teacher, I'm sure I can do that. Give you the fundamentals of how to write. Just so much that I probably can, help you guys with. So if you need to reach me, and y'all didn't get my social media handles, I'm sure my daughter here can give it all to you.
Yes, I'll make sure to provide them.
Please do.
Yes.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. So love you, darling.
I love you too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on again.
You're welcome, honey. Anytime. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Enjoy yourself. Have a
All
good
right,
night.
have a good night.
You too.
So there we have it. Another episode of Have a Little Talk is done and in the books. I pray that something that was said resonated with you and blessed you. I pray that there is something I said or something that Mom Linda said that you can take with you on your creative journey. Keep hope alive. Do not give up. Stay connected to God. All of those things. They're all very important. Um, As promised, I will make sure I post how you can find Mom Linda on social media and also where you can find her books as well. And also stay in the loop, stay in the know, stay connected with her and with me. Um, to find out what we both have in the works. There is greatness on the horizon for both of us. I know it, and I'm sure of it. So until next time, stay connected, stay tuned in. I love you all, and take it easy.